It's the weekend. That means we got new metal albums to listen to, and I'm bringing you my top 5. Welcome, metalheads. I'm the host of Heavy Metal Philosophy and writer for Metal Digest, John Barbas. It's the weekend. That means we got new metal albums, my top 5, and as always, my favorite album art of the week at the end of the episode. But like we always do here, I always talk about the big bands before we do the top 5. And this week, nobody wanted to go to head with Immortal. So all we have is Immortal with War Against All. Those Norwegian black metal OGs are at it again, this time without Abbott. Tell me, what do you think about that? Are you down with that? Do you want Abbott back? He says he's open to it. I don't know. But Immortal's got a new album. Now let's do the top 5. Coming in at number 5, we've got Arrival of Autumn, and the name of the album is Kingdom Undone. This is a Canadian metalcore band, and when I say metalcore, think early metalcore. This to me sounds like a cross between some Bullet for My Valentine, a little bit of Trivium, but it's modern too. I hear a little bit of Gojira in there too. This is some really pissed off sounding metalcore, and that's why I like it. None of that pretty poppy stuff. Pissed off, heavy, extreme. That's what we do here. Number 5, check it out. Coming in at number 4, we've got Ruim. Pretty sure I mispronounced that. Text is on the screen, and as always, every band's Bandcamp link will be in the description so you can find them easily. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce this correctly. Black spiritualism and then a bunch of words I can't pronounce. That said, I got this one early, I listened to it, and I loved it. This is some OG black metal, full of blasphemy, but it's got modern production techniques, so it's nice and clean. The vocalist has a varied vocal style, not just the black metal fry screams. There's a couple of false chord growls in there. There's some clean stuff that's super spooky, and the clean guitars that go over the distorted guitars really sound good too. I loved it. You will too if you check it out. Coming in at number 3, we've got Phlebotomized with Clouds of Confusion. This is progressive death doom from the Netherlands. I don't know about this band name, y'all. Phlebotomized? So you mean like when the nurse puts a needle in your vein? That's pretty routine and not all that brutal to me, but the music is brutal. It sounds like if a Monomoth was a progressive band instead of a Viking metal band. Really heavy, lots of cool guitar work. I loved listening to it, just the band. Phlebotomized, really, whatever. Y'all like it, that's fine with me. I love the music, check it out. Coming in at number 2, we've got Ethereal Void with Gods of a Dead World, and this is Canadian death metal. I like this one because the vocal delivery is really fast. He really puts those words out there at a high BPM. Meanwhile, you've got a synth going slow, providing atmosphere, and the lead guitar on this is excellent. You know I love death metal, you know I'm a guitar nerd, and I love Canada. So there you go, check that one out. But hey, before we do number 1, if you love metal the way that I love metal, then you're in the right place. You should join the Heavy Metal Philosophy community, because this is what we do here. Every weekend, breaking down the best new metal. Every Tuesday, the podcast on the philosophy behind what we do in the metal community every week. You know you want some. Now let's do number 1. Coming in at number 1, this one's Titanic. We finally got a new record from Vomitory. All heads are gonna roll. This is Swedish death metal, some OSDM, their first full-length, full-on record in over 10 years. I'm stoked. You'll be stoked if you listen to it too. If you love old school death metal the way that I do, yeah, let's get it. Now let's do album art of the week. For this week's album art of the week, I'm going with Liquid Flesh with their album Dolores. Good old French death metal, but I love this art. Look at this. There's this beautiful woman putting on her makeup. Meanwhile, the flesh on her face is melting off. And the art, it looks like it was done with colored pencil maybe. I'm not quite sure about the medium, but it's definitely unique in the world of death metal. How often do you see art like this? Not very often. It definitely stood out above all the other album covers this week. made me curious, and that's why I picked it for this week's Album Art of the Week. And there you have it. That's the weekend roundup. If you're on YouTube, click right here and you can hear another great episode of Heavy Metal Philosophy. But most importantly, read philosophy, listen to metal. I love you.